Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Ama and Asantseba. Hi Asantseba, how's it going?
Hi, Ama. It's okay.
Do you know what? I feel like I need to stop saying how are you doing. I feel like I need a new line because I feel like I'm on like auto repeat all the time.
But I feel like the how are you doing is sort of our signature, It's actually
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. Well, today we've got a guest joining us. We haven't had a guest for a while,
hmm
right? And today we've got Pastor Stephen Amedior joining us today. Hi, Pastor. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're
We're doing
good.
well, thanks.
Yeah.
We promise to be on our best behavior. Okay,
Yeah.
Pastor. Well, first of all, we'd like to say thank you so much for joining us. It's actually been a pleasure to have you on our podcast. For a bit of our listeners, I want you to tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. As you rightly said, my name is Stephen Amedior. I pastor a church called Kingdom Harvesters Ministries, and I also work as a design consultant with a company called Juicing. So I'm a family man. I've got 2 girls, a wife, and yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
about me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where's the church located? I mean, for listeners.
sure. We are located at Hallmark Hotel, Pellyway, in Croydon. That's West London. Uh, but then we are in a hotel called Hallmark Hotel at Pellyway. Yeah,
That's good. I think I need to come and visit your church one of these days. I really, really do.
that would be great. It would be
Yeah,
great to have
no,
you.
perfect. So our topic today, Pastor Stephen, is something I feel like I spoke to Hunter about this as well a while ago, and
Mhm.
we had a personal conversation about it, didn't we, Pastor Stephen? Also, because it
Yeah,
kind of like bugs me. It kind of like boggles my mind, because you hear so many stories of people getting married and then there's infidelities, or just being in a relationship like boyfriend and girlfriend, and there's infidelities, and it got me thinking, like the human makeup, like genetically. Are we made to be one person for the rest of our lives? Are we conditioned to do that? Or is it something that we as humans just like the sound of being one person? So, over the years, we've sort of gone down that route of, being one person is what you must do and is the right thing to do, when we're not naturally conditioned to be that sort of way, or we're not made up that way genetically.
Mm.
So I feel like while thinking about this, I had a conversation with Santibam, and it sort of led me down the whole spiritual route, like religious route, and was wondering, it was so interesting to A, get a man's perspective on this, and B, also know better than a man who's a man of God, right? Who knows the Bible and is
That's
well
right.
read,
Mhm.
and then he
Mhm.
can sort of guide us into this. So, what do you reckon, Pastor Stephen? Can you shed any light on this? Are we made as humans to be with one person for the rest of our lives?
Okay. I would say thank you for having me once again on your show. And I'll do as much as possible to give as much information as I can. First and foremost, what I would say is that human beings are not programmed. We are not programmed to either be with one person or to be with 3, 4, 5 people. We always find ourselves in different environments. And let me start by saying this. There is a statement we say that a decorated monkey is always a monkey. Okay,
Yeah.
so with some people, it is a natural. It is a character. It is something that is inborn in them. You understand? Notwithstanding, before I go deeper, guys, or I would say men, are programmed to be attracted to women. Let me put it that way.
Mhm.
Women were created very beautiful. Women always catch the attention of men. That is a natural instinct, because I keep telling people that if I don't get attracted to a lady, how can I marry the woman in the first place? So it
Mhm.
is something that is inbred in men. We are like preys. We are like predators. When we see women that are beautiful, we want to have a look. We want to talk to them. We want to get further. You understand? It is something that men are made of. But again, as I was saying, as we grow in life as well, we come up with different kinds of characters, different kinds of environment also breeds different kinds of characters as well. So there are lots of things that come together to make us behave the way we behave. Okay, and the first and foremost, as I said, a decorated monkey is always a monkey. Some people are just like that. You cannot take it. You cannot take it away from them. Give them the best of woman in the world. Give them the best of everything in the world. They will still look at the next woman. You
Okay.
understand? So,
Yeah.
some people are just like that, and it's like you cannot help it. No matter how you help them, it doesn't just work. You
Yeah.
understand? And so I would say the first and foremost is the human beings themselves.
Right.
You
Okay.
understand? Yeah, it is the human being. It is a personal decision for a person to make. You understand?
Yeah.
I'd wanted to go to family or environment, but I felt I should rather come back and then dwell on the human being themselves, because you can find yourself in a West environment, in the West family, but you can still be decent. So first and foremost, it is a person's character. You understand? First and foremost, a person's character. To either I want to do it or I don't want to do it. That's the
Okay.
first thing. Let me rush through this quickly because of time. Number two, I would say, is the family. You understand? Some
Okay.
family, I'm
Yeah.
talking about both the nuclear and extended. In some families, you could tell that the men in the family are just unfaithful. They keep jumping from one woman to another. It's like, and when you growing in such a family and you are not careful, you think that is how we are as a family. And then you end
Yeah.
up also becoming like them, becoming like that. You understand? So again, if you don't check yourself very well and you don't know what you want, it's a decision. It's a personal decision. You might end up becoming like everybody. You understand? And there's
So
one
that's the bit.
important.
Sorry, that's the bit that really interests me, because this is an old age debate of nature versus
Mhm,
nurture, isn't it? That
mhm,
is it. Are we the way we are because of the environment we grew up in, or is this nature's hand in this? So I feel like that what you're saying is so in sync with that old age
mhm,
argument of nature versus nurture.
mhm,
But
mhm.
Pastor Stephen, what would you say the Bible says on this? So does the Bible say that a man must marry one woman or one woman must marry one man? What is the Bible's view on this?
Okay. So the Bible, interestingly, the Bible never said anything about the number of people you should marry. The only time the Bible spoke on it was when he was talking about bishops, and they said that the bishop should be a man who marries one wife. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the only time it is stated. But there is nowhere in the Bible where it is stated that as human beings we are supposed to marry one person. And what makes it more complicated is that when you look, if you go a bit back to our forefathers, Abraham and all those guys in the Bible, they
Mhm.
married, they all married more than one woman. Even Solomon's case was crazy. Had over 800 wives and about how many 500 girlfriends or concubines or stuff like that. You understand? But this was
So,
somebody God loved.
so
You understand? God loved
mhm.
Solomon, but if you look at the end of Solomon's life, he called everything vanity. You know, after all what he did, he said, "You know what, guys? I thought I had wisdom, but all the things that I've done profited me nothing." You understand? But he didn't state it clearly that it's if it's the women or if it's the idols. He never stated it clearly. But from what Bible scholars are trying to say is that Solomon realized everything he did, all the number of women he was following, and all those things didn't help him at the end of the day. So he ended up by saying that these are all vanity. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's
So,
it's not
at
stated
which
clearly in the
point,
Bible.
at which point did humans decide to say, if somebody is with two people or married and has another partner, it's a sin?
Mm-hmm.
Since it's
Uh,
not stated in the Bible, what
mm-hmm.
gives us that privilege to condemn this situation? Okay, what gives us the right to condemn people who are in such situations? Like you rightfully said, it's not stated anywhere in the Bible that to marry and then have a concubine is a sin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not
Because if you
stated.
look at our brothers, when I say our brothers, the
Yeah,
Muslims,
I know.
they
Yeah.
are allowed to marry
Mm-hmm.
two women, three,
Mm-hmm.
four, five. But in their religion, it's stated if only you could love all 5 of them equally, which
Mm-hmm.
I doubt is actually possible. You
Hmm.
will love one or two more than the rest. Okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the Christian world or Christianity, it's like, oh my goodness, an abomination, like totally. So, given that clarity, I'm really happy that you, a pastor, or as a pastor, you're very biblical and you're telling us today, or you're
Mm-hmm.
telling the listeners that it is not stated anywhere in the Bible that it's a sin to have two or multiple women or two or more multiple partners. Then how come we are quick to condemn such acts or such behaviors when we see it? Like we point fingers really quick. How did we get to this point?
Okay. So let me take you a bit back. It is not the church. It is a customary
Mm-hmm.
law. It is a law. So so the church is just going by the law. So you see, when you get married, you get you go to the registrar, you bring in whatever to be signed in the church. So it is more of the law. So it is the law that governs the nation. In UK as well, it's the same thing. It is a law. You cannot marry two people. It is the law that does that. So it's not like a Christian thing or da 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 da. But again, it's we just going by the law of the nation, if that makes sense. But then I do get your point, because when something goes on for a while and when somebody else does it, everybody raises their eyebrows. Oh, what's that happening? You understand? So it's been a law for a very long time. That is why when you see
Yeah.
someone doing it, it's like it becomes a big news. You understand? And in terms of whereby you say we condemn people when they go wrong and stuff like that. I would say, again, it is the old churches that normally did that. What do I mean by the old churches? At first, this Pentecostal churches and stuff like that, they were so strict on a lot of things. You get what I'm saying? So as I said, when somebody, so me personally, say if a lady comes to me and tells me that my husband has cheated on me, I'm not going to call the man to condemn them. How dare you? No, 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 no. Rather, I would speak to him in a nice
Yeah.
manner. Will you be happy if your wife did the same thing to you? You understand? And then try to find out, because under every infidelity there is an issue. There's either an issue or there's a long-term problem that has not been dealt with. Yeah. So I would say, we wouldn't I wouldn't condemn somebody, but again, as you rightly said, everybody will raise an eyebrow. Like, everybody sees you to be a bad person. They see you to be evil. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then, as I rightly
Yeah.
said, a problem again is, with you women, when you marry, not every woman. Sorry, let me be very careful with my words here. When most women marry, it's like they just
Mm-hmm.
think that's the end of it. You understand?
Yeah.
Men, as you rightly said, naturally are programmed. Oh, come on, I'm not about to say program now. Men naturally, they like what they see. They like what they see. Men are
Yeah.
sensitive to
Yeah.
sight. Women are
Yeah.
sensitive to touch.
Yeah.
Okay? So men like what they see. So you have to be a different woman for your husband all the time. You understand?
Hmm.
When he comes home, your hair is all over the place, your dress is all over the place. You understand? And men sometimes go crazy. You go to the workplace, okay, and then you
Yeah.
see your secretary dressed on makeup, and then you say, you see, the woman is more beautiful than my wife. But if your wife is to dress the same way like the secretary, put on the same makeup the secretary puts on, you realize that, wow, my wife is 10 times better than this woman. You get what I mean? But because of war we see at home all the time. The wife says it's messy. The wife doesn't like dress at home. It's like when we are going to town, she tries to just wear something and always complaining. The children. You get what I'm saying? So all these things, because men are sensitive to what they see. You understand? It becomes a bit of a problem in their homes. Bit of problem in the home. So it is very important that men as well, when we should be bold enough to tell our wives that, look, come on, when we got married, that is not how you were, but you are changing. Like, I want you to look good for me. You understand? So
Hmm.
it's more of communication. It's more of communication.
Do you know what? We're like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try so hard not to make it biased, because I know a friend of mine was he listens to this, and he's male, and obviously he was
Okay.
like, hey, you guys are always like having a go at the men. So I'm gonna try and keep it, safe here. But I feel that, for me, I feel like it's a two-way thing. I feel
Mm.
like I was told
Exactly.
this I was told this years back by one of my teachers. It wasn't even me personally, it was like a class thing. It was just off record. We were just discussing, and I think he was just trying to give us some wisdom into the open world. And then he made a comment and he said to the class, that guys, you know, he goes, I'm a man, and my advice is most men out there, they like the look of women. You're married, you got a girlfriend, you're in a serious relationship. You go outside, you step outside, and another woman catches your eye. But you don't know the investment that goes into that woman. I.e., she has a man that's watering. You see, it's a bit like a plant. If you water it well, it will grow well. So use that same effort into watering what you have at home, to gain that growth. So for me, I'm always saying, I believe 100% what you're saying in terms of men being visual creatures. I get that. But the other part of me is like, well, okay, I get they're visual creatures, but sometimes maybe life doesn't all pan out to be the way, rosary in terms of the way, people paint it. Kids do come in, it's I'm a mother to a 23-month-old, and it is exhausting, waking up. I tell you, I think people can testify. I'm the kind that, I love makeup. I put makeup on to work. I like picking clothes, but since the 23-month-old came in, it's hard work. So I feel like sometimes men, like I said, not all men, but I feel like men can be understanding to that, because if we're building something as a family, we're creating something, then, you should be down to get your hands dirty too, right? Which is not always, I'm
Mhm.
not always going to wake up looking pristine, and looking like I just walked out of, a movie. There's going to be days where we're going to wake up and I'm going to need to get my hair done. And there's going to be days I'm sure he wakes up and he's going to need to brush his hair, and get his hair barbered. But yeah, no, so that's the thing, Pastor Stephen. That's the thing that gets me a bit. I feel like, like a lot of men always say is that, oh, the wife is not looking as amazing as she used to be when we're dating. But what they need to understand is circumstances has changed. You both agreed that perhaps maybe you want to start a family, and that dynamic has changed. So I don't know. What would you say to that?
Okay, so what I would say to that is, when you started, I had the answer already. What I would
Okay.
say to that is that, women are sensitive. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not too grown. Okay, but the little life I've lived on earth. Okay, I remember I have 6 sisters. You get what I mean? And when you tell a lady, well, you know what? I want you to do your hair. I want you to do this. Ladies start getting insensitive. Oh, who have you seen at your workplace? Who is attracting you? Why do you want me to make my hair like your secretary? Why do you want me to? You understand?
Okay, let me cut in real quick. Before you met these ladies, were they not making up already? Or were they not dressing up already? So I actually, yeah, like what Yvonne said, when you have a child and all that, the
Mm-hmm,
dynamics
mm-hmm,
changes and all that,
mm-hmm,
it becomes tedious because then you have to, all the concentration moves from yourself to the little one. Okay.
mm-hmm,
But also, I mean, I find it very funny. Some women lose themselves fully, completely, whereas other women try to keep up. Okay, like the little they can do, they do them. They would, even wouldn't. I mean, Adama, you won't step out without makeup. I mean, I've seen you when you came to Ghana. Even when you're stepping out with Lewis and all that, you try to make time. You try to hurry up, just Lewis up, and do the little makeup that you can to look good. Okay, although you have a child. But other women, they just give up totally on themselves. They feel like, oh, now they are married, they are settled. There's nothing more to do to entice this man again. Yeah, he loves me the way I am and all that. And also, some of the men are very funny. They don't comment. I have a friend who said this. It's very funny. So his wife doesn't like to keep her private parts clean in terms of shaving. She doesn't like to do that. And these are married couple. Yeah, the wife doesn't like to do that. He made a comment on it once, twice, and he said, I'm not going to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to, since we're talking about marriage and couples and if we're supposed to be one party and all that, he likes to, be sexual with the wife, be oral and all that. But since the wife is not that kind that would keep the place up like that, he rather goes out and does his business because the other women will not even let him talk. They will do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I worry after we had that conversation. I'm like, what is this? Like, you're a woman, your personal hygiene. Must somebody also tell you before you do it? Must your husband tell you braid your hair? Must your husband tell you? So when you look at yourself in the mirror, yes, you have children, you have this, you have that, but don't you also, as a woman, feel like, okay, I need to look good? Like, there's a need for me. I have to look good. That's 2 hours. That's 1 hour. You can't have it to yourself to keep up and all that. Religion can be very tricky. The reason I say this is that we may have other listeners who are not religious. So I don't want us to dwell more on Bible and all that. And I like what you said, that is a traditional law. It's like a law that the churches are just following. That you're not supposed to marry more than two and all that. And I feel like also society frowns on people who have been with two or more partners. Hence, a lot of single people around. Because if somebody is showing interest in me and I've been with 3, 4 men, there's this stigma. Oh, this one, oh, Asantseba, she's been around the block. She's been with, so this person's not going to come for me. So if a married man approaches me, well, yeah, I need somebody to be around with. So that gives me that platform to also do that. I think there's a lot of things happening. Can we just have a law, or can we just have something that says that in order for men not to, I feel that the Islamic culture or the Islamic religion is very helpful. So in order for me not to go outside to misbehave, I bring the woman home. So you're aware that I have this woman home. Christianity, I bet you, majority of the people cheating on their husbands or their wives are all Christians or non-believers. Let me just put it. It's very difficult to find an Islamic person cheating on the wife because of the way their religion is established. It makes it very easy for them to bring the woman home. So there won't be that peace because obviously I wouldn't want to marry a man and the man to have another partner. Jealousy will set in, a whole bunch of things will come in. But can we have something that says, okay, once you're married and you find, just so we didn't have all this drama, all this pointing fingers, and can't we have something to do? Can't it be so easy? Now that there's no religion aspect of it, can't the tradition be a bit, sober, a bit, loosened up so we can have our ways? Because it kind of becomes a bit too much when you see married men doing these things, all in the name of, or they say if you eat one soup, you get tired. There's no harm in trying light soup today, eating palm soup tomorrow.
Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from, Asantseba? Is that true, Pastor Stephen?
That's what they say.
I have a lot of male friends I told, and some of them will also tell you that if I go out of the house, if I go out of the house and I do my business with other women, when I come back, I'm happy. So my wife is happy. Once the man is happy, every other thing is happy. When he comes back home and he's had his business with other women, he's so excited about whatever that person had shown him sexually that the wife is failing to do. When he comes home, he's super excited. So when his wife says, "Oh, let's go and buy this," that excitement he brought from outside will just propel everything that the wife will ask them to do. And they'll tell you that one person cannot do the business. The wife alone cannot handle the business. Some other person needs to also assist. This is crazy.
I got something to throw at the both of you. Okay, Pastor Stephen, I hope you're going to make my mind clear on this, right?
Sure.
Asantseba, you listening to this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about religion, right? The 10th commandment states, right, that adultery is a sin. So my thing is, if we're not programmed to be with one person in terms of looking at it from a religious aspect, which point does it become adulterous? Is it when you have 10 women and you go for 11th woman? Or is it when you have one woman and go for a second woman? That is the thing that just blows my mind.
Okay.
Well, let me not take Pastor out of this. I want to answer as a non-believer and tell you what they'll tell you that the long as God knows your heart and God knows your mind, they are doing it for a good reason. Yeah,
Mhm.
my male friends will tell you that God knows our hearts, and God knows that if my wife was doing this right, I wouldn't go and do this. So you see, they before they do it, they've actually had a word with God. It's funny when they say this, like I had a word with God. I said, God, why is my wife doing this? Eh? And I saw that woman, and I feel like God gave me that woman. Don't you like? You can't even believe the excuses they give you for saying that if God knows this, God knows that, God. And I was like, okay, so long as I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I'll be happy if I should marry and my husband is doing that. But knowing what I know now, I would say if I get married, I'll do everything possible to keep my husband in the house with what I have seen and with what I have learned over time. So if you, the woman, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I don't know. Pastor, what do you think? Like,
Okay.
mm,
Okay. Let me answer two questions in one. Okay. So in terms of adultery, okay, it's so if you marry to 10 women and then you cheat on them, that's when it becomes adultery. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's when you marry. Now I'm trying to clear your mind. That's why I didn't say one. Okay. When you see somebody else outside the person you've married, that is when you've committed adultery.
okay.
Okay. So again, it wasn't stated the number. You said something very important. I've not even thought of that because the Bible did not say when you marry one and then you go and cheat on that one person that you've committed
Yeah.
adultery. It never said that. But then, yeah, when I look at Solomon, he had 850 wives and
Mhm.
500 concubines. It could be even more.
Wow,
Yeah,
this dude's
More. Yeah, the
amazing.
Bible
yeah.
didn't cover all of that.
Yes, you understand. So the Bible made it clearly that wives and concubines. So it gives me the clear distinction that I know he had more than one wife anyway. So the concubines or whatever are, I'll say, they are the infidelity in the marriage. If you get that, what I'm saying,
Mhm.
yeah. But again, in terms of I am women advocate. I always standing for women. I always standing for women. And there was this guy who saw a lady, and I was close to the guy. I wasn't close to the lady. And he says, "Oh, I've seen a lady, and I want to marry this lady." Da, 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 da. I knew the problem of the guy. The guy, it's not. It's. I know him. He cannot be trusted. He cannot be
Right.
trusted. So even though the guy was close to me, I told the lady that I want to meet both of you. I want to take both of you through counseling. You understand? And the lady didn't turn up. I didn't go for the marriage,
Right.
for the wedding. Initially, they wanted me to bless the marriage. I said, nope, I'm not coming. Okay. And then they got somebody else to bless the marriage.
I
Now,
like
the lady
that.
was
That's good.
Yep. The lady was angry with me that, oh, you didn't come. Da, 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 da. I told her, listen, whatever I wanted to see, I told you I wanted to see. It was for you, not for him. A guy has one child with you, two child, 3, 4, 5. And then after that, he sees you to be an old woman and a burden on him. And he goes for somebody who hasn't married. But does it work the same way with a woman? No.
It's true. Yes.
You get what I mean? So I'm always an advocate for women when it comes to marriage and that aspect of life. You understand? I think that when a man says he wants to marry a woman, it's a decision. It's a decision that
Yeah.
he chooses to make. But guys, honestly, in our time, about 99.9 marriages are done for the wrong reasons.
Yes, to be honest with you, I do think that's why the divorce rate is so high because I feel like
Mhm.
people just get married for the sake of marriage. They
That's
do
right.
it because their friends are doing it or they do it because of their own personal benefits. Maybe the person is well to
Mhm.
do.
It's
Yeah.
it's crazy, and the most crazy thing these days. And somebody will see that, oh, let's have a wedding. That will be better than what that and that person had. You understand? They had 5 bridesmaids. Let's make it 15. You understand? So even the the motive the motive is totally wrong from the onset. So such a marriage, I should be honest with you, there'll be problems. There'll be
Yeah.
problems because they are both eager to marry, not because we love each
They
other,
love each
we want to
other.
settle down.
Yeah.
But because this and this has happened, And so we also want to beat their record. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of things do happen. People marry for strange reasons. It will surprise you these days. Today, when I was having service, I was telling the people that, you know what, decisions are personal. I was telling them, no matter what, decisions are personal. Don't take a decision because I don't want to hurt my mom. I don't want to hurt my dad. I don't want to hurt this person. I don't want to hurt that person. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, whoever you marry, you are staying with the person for the rest of your life. So why should somebody force you to marry somebody you are not sure of? You get what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, yes.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So that because of the reasons why people marry these days, that is why we see what we see. Honestly, that is why men stay with their wives and they know very well. Come on, this woman is not the woman
Yeah,
I
there's
want to
a lot of
marry.
expectations before they
Mm-hmm.
even get married, They're
Exactly.
going with a lot of expectations. They're going
Mm-hmm.
like, in the next 2 years, I'll be able to buy a car, I'll be able to build a house, I'll be able to get this, that, I'll be able to do that. With a lot of expectations. And once they get in and it is not as rosy as they have been seeing it, then it becomes a problem. And also, Pastor, don't you think that, well, no, don't you? I think that majority of the men these days also do not paint the right pictures. When they are seeing a lady,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of show themselves. Do you
That's
understand?
right.
They do a lot of
That's
things.
right.
The little money they
Mm-hmm.
have, they throw it about. Okay? So now you're
Mm-hmm.
giving this lady this perception, and the lady's family this perception. I have a friend. It's funny the people I have around. I have a friend. The man
I would hate to be your friend.
came out.
You
It's crazy. They'll kill me tomorrow. This week after they listen to it, they'll kill me. Like, Asantseba, why were you citing all this? They know themselves. So the lady, the man, painted this picture of being rich. He has it all figured out and all that. And after the marriage, the lady's family is expecting the man to do miracles. Because when you're dating our daughter,
Mm-hmm.
you are rich. You come home with this car, tomorrow that car, you're coming with this food items, you're taking the family out, you're doing.
did he have the cars? Was he renting the cars every time he
So
went on
I'm
a date?
coming. They didn't even know. That's the thing. The lady also did not take her time to investigate. So the guy had a bunch of friends. I mean, it's a circle. So always taking this person's car, that person's car. He had little money, that he could throw about. He was working for a
Mm-hmm.
company. But whatever he was throwing about was exceeding his monthly salary. So money that he had saved before was he was showing off. Because the lady is from somehow a good family. Okay?
Mm.
So he wanted to show the lady all sort of, the men, how they want to
He
do
wants to
their things.
impress, isn't it?
So yeah. Now the lady's family was like, "Oh, this is a good man. You can lean on him. He can take care of you, take care of the family." Because apparently he was paying for the sisters, the wife to be sister in school. So he can do this, he can do that. Who doesn't like good things? Fast
Hmm.
forward, they got married. Now the family is expecting a lot from him, but he
That's right.
cannot deliver now. So the question is, who are you? Now the lady is struggling. Even their first baby, the lady had to, oh my goodness, she was working. She had to take money from the company. It was a whole lot of drama. Ama. After the marriage, the guy had nothing. Nothing. And this marriage wasn't a small wedding, no. He took loans, which he did not even inform the wife.
You're
I
kidding.
just want to say names because they are quite popular. It's not even a joke here in Ghana. Like if this podcast comes out during the week, I only send it to certain people because they'll kill me. It's really, it was really crazy. Now the lady cannot come out of the marriage because her friends know them. I mean the status, that they have built for themselves. Currently,
Yeah.
they're surviving on their salary. They need to keep up that lifestyle they built from the beginning.
Hmm.
The man's money or the man's salary is nothing to write home about. But she cannot go and say it to anybody. So sometimes, I really wonder, what is it? Why can't you show your true self? Why can't you let people know who you are and all that? And also the women, some of us women, we go in looking all, marriage material thing. We don't wear our dress a certain way. We don't do certain things. There was this funny video that was going around on social media. Before marriage, when you go and visit your in-law, you wake up at 5 and you sweep the compound, you cook, you do this, you do that, you do that. Meaning they put a ring on your finger, you go and visit your in-law, 10 a.m. You're still sleeping. The in-law will be like, what is the other woman my son brought? But it's the same woman. Now she's showing you her true color. She's sleeping. So such a woman after marriage,
Mhm.
your husband sees the real you, and that cannot live with you, cannot coexist or cohabit with you. Now he needs to, start popping his nose outside, looking for what he would say he would have married. Or you are with your male guys. Unfortunately, I have a lot of male friends. You're hanging around them, they see a certain woman and they talk to them and all that. They're like, if I'd seen you earlier, I wouldn't have married my wife. And you look at them and you're like, hey, did you just say this? You have no idea. And then they will tell you, oh, by now go home and see. She's finished it. The bowl is on the table. She's laying in the couch. She's asleep. She has not even washed her hands. And, and truly, that is exactly what the wife will be doing. And some of them will even go to the point of calling the wife just to prove to his friends that I told you at this time she's doing this. She'll call, madam. A typical Ghanaian man, they call their wives madam to make them feel good, especially when they're around other girlfriends. They'll be like, oh, madam, let's call madam, and they call their girlfriend's wifey. It's funny. But they'll call their wife's madam, call their girlfriend's wifey. It's the opposite. It's so crazy.
But what do you think about that? But what do you think about that, Pastor?
Okay, so that boils down to what I was saying from the beginning: environment.
Mm-hmm.
When I was I stayed in Kumasi a bit. I went that's why I had my uni. What it is, I drove different. When you were speaking, I was laughing. I drove different cars. They were all my friends. It was once, so I was staying with my sister and the husband, so I normally drive their cars. You understand? But then if I want to impress, I look for my friends, the one who has got the nicest of cars. And I said, can I borrow your car for just 15 minutes? Just 15 minutes. And then I go and impress and brag a bit. And then tell the lady, you know what, I have to be somewhere. I'll call you and I'll drive off.
I'll call back. Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is crazy. So it's the kind of environment. So the guy you spoke about right now, he has seen something happening over and over again. But you know what? What we did is when such things happen, it's just for those short-term relationships and stuff like that. It's not marriage. You understand? There was one lady I used to see. Let me give you a practical reason, and you'll be like, wow. There was one lady I used to see. She's a nurse at the moment, married to a doctor. Okay, so I used to see this lady impressing. My brother-in-law was rich. My brother-in-law was rich. He used to work in Standard Chartered Bank, holding one of the highest positions, driving the nicest of cars. In fact, he was doing very well. You understand? And I was staying with them and going to uni. So this lady, I met her and I tried to impress her, and she liked me. And honestly, I didn't. That time I had more than 3 or 4 girlfriends. So it was just one of those things. But let me tell you something very interesting here. When I realized the lady was getting clingy to me, I realized she was a good woman. She was a good woman. She was a genuine person. So one day I called her. I said, Grace, can I speak to you? Oops. I don't think she hear the podcast anyway. I said, can I speak to you? She was like, what about? I told her that, listen, you're a very nice person. You know what? I really like you. But look, I don't think I'm going to marry anytime soon. And I don't want to block your chances in life.
Yeah.
I told her, trust me, if you say you want to wait on me, I'm not even sure if I will marry you in the future. At the moment, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I said, trust me. I told her, trust me, leave me, and you'll meet a nice person to marry. This is what I told her.
Yeah.
She was sad, she was crying. She really liked me. You understand? Although I was misbehaving, I was a good person. You understand? So, in fact, it was tough. She cried sometimes. She called me sometimes, and I felt sorry for what I was doing, but I had to drive her away from myself. Not to save me, but to save her.
Save her, yeah.
And you wouldn't believe it. I think after a year or 2, she got married to a doctor, a medical doctor.
Wow.
See?
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So
it was the right thing to do at the time.
I was playing my cards very well. I had my limits. You understand? But the guy you're talking about, he's somebody, okay, who was playing games but took it to the extreme. You don't do that when it is marriage. You don't do that when it is marriage. So he's made a very, very big mistake. A very, very big one. His friends would even insult him. I'm telling you.
They also thought they had hit the jackpot. Yeah. Because the lady comes from a good family. She had a good job, which she would not accept just any other guy. You get it? So somehow, whenever we talk and we sit and laugh, I say, look, this lady, if I don't want to mention, I'm like, yo, she deserves that what you did to her. I mean, jokingly, I'm not saying this right, but every time we sit, I'm like, oh no, she deserves it because you've turned out how many men because they were not rich. So why won't somebody come and pose and try to impress you with the riches? You fell for it and you married him, right? And now
So
look,
that
he is not
so that
rich.
again boils down to people marrying
Exactly.
for the wrong reasons. Because
That's
you
right.
should marry someone because they're wealthy. You should marry somebody because you love them and you can see a future to build. And another thing, if I can just quickly interject here, like this saying, I used to hear it all the time. It didn't used to bother me until I had my son. And that was the saying every time I would hear about an infidelity. And if it was the man that was being unfaithful, it was almost, especially in Ghana, almost taken as if it was almost taken with a pinch of salt, like it didn't matter. Oh, it's the man. You know what? Men are like, men do that. And, it used to grate on me a bit, but it didn't really bother me much. And then I had a son. And then obviously in the process of preparing for this podcast and in discussions, I sat down and I thought, hold on, I've got a son. Is this what I must be putting into his head? Because it's unacceptable. As a mother, I would never, ever tell my son that, you know what, it's okay to be in, like, to have affairs because you're a guy and society will accept that. Because that is so wrong. I just do not understand how society, especially more so in the Ghanaian culture, because I feel like that's what I can speak on because that is how, that's the environment we were brought up in. I feel like this is almost taken with a pinch of salt when a man is unfaithful. Like, oh no, that's
Man is the head of
fine.
the family.
He's expected to be unfaithful. It's as if the woman is sitting there counting like down the days as to when this incident's going to happen. And I find it quite sad, really. I find it quite sad because I feel like generally as women in society, we deserve better, to be in a marriage or to be brought up with this ridiculous ideology that it's okay if your husband cheats on you, just suck it up because that's what men do. Then it really takes away our self-worth, and our beliefs and our confidence as women, because it's just mind-blowing to me. And I feel, especially having a son now, I feel like I could never ever put that ideology into his head. For him, he must know that being unfaithful is wrong whether you're a man or a woman. There's no doubt about it. The same way a man bleeds when he cuts is the same way a woman bleeds when she cuts. It will still affect you in the same way, whether you be a man or a woman. You still carry that hurts, that baggage around, if you're being cheated on. So I would not make it okay. I would not dress it up and sugarcoat it, make it okay as if, to be the big man, you must go out there and test the waters and have 100 affairs and you're the man and it's okay, because it really isn't. You're hurting
It's not
people.
okay, Emma. Like there's this person I know again. So
he
got married at the age of 26. That's what I'm saying. Funny how the people I have around me, it's crazy. Got married at the age of 26, a guy. His reason for getting married early was, he said, Asantseba, I thought getting married early would stop me from womanizing. He's a fine dude. He's a very, very fine dude. He has the height, the looks, and all that. And he left home very early. He was blessed enough to have a good job at early stages. So he left home, find his own apartment and all that. Women were tripping in and out, and at a point he didn't have respect for women, from what he was saying. So he thought to himself, if I get married early, or if I have a partner to myself, maybe that will stop me from doing all this, because I have a woman to me myself she's going to give me everything I want. I don't know how she got himself a virgin. That's even funny. Okay, so they get married and all that. Now guess what? After a year, he's back to his old stuff. Said, Asantseba, it's so difficult, eh? I can't even keep up. Like, he gets the satisfaction knowing that there's another woman digging him. Like, I think I always said to you, I think there's a spiritual thing with you, because I don't understand. The wife is very beautiful, married a virgin, they have beautiful kids. God has blessed them with a good job, so financially he's okay. The wife is not a problem, because he doesn't know any other man apart from you. Okay? So I always worry. I'm like, this guy, what's your problem? Like, and if you see the women he mingles with to her, you're like, so these women are that you left your wife and then you come and he says the wife is not naughty. Teach your wife how to be naughty has turned into a problem. Now he doesn't want the wife to think that he's having affairs somewhere, because when he comes home and says, "Do it this way, do it that way," where are you getting this from? So he rather prefers to go out, do his business, comes home, and then he's okay. He's like, I don't understand what his problem is. I still don't understand. Every time we speak, I'm like, I don't understand what your problem is.
But then that goes back to what Pastor Stephen said, isn't it? People marrying for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. It's it all boils down to, these days here in our time, we've got loads of babies marrying. You understand? You know very well that maturity has got nothing to do with age, right?
Yes.
Maturity has got nothing whatsoever to do with age at all.
Yes.
At all. You understand? So we've got lots of young people, young babies getting married, okay, thinking it is just like what they see in the telenovelas. You understand? They think it's just like what they see on TV. But it's not. It's not. You understand?
Yes.
That is the problem. That is the problem. People are married, young children are marrying. You understand? And then when they face the reality, they're like, wow, so is this all marriage is about? So that is where all these problems start coming up. But as I said again, it boils down to the individual. You understand? Some people will say, you know what? I know I get crazy when I see other women. Okay? I know I look at other women. But you know what? I'm not going to hurt my wife. You understand? It's a personal choice. Some people, when they hurt their wives, it really makes them feel bad. But other people, let me tell you this. I had a friend here. He cheated on the wife recently. Okay, and then he was telling me, because we are very close. We are very, very close. We advise each other. When he told me, listen, instead of me, initially my first instinct, instead of me to tell him that, what have you done? You know what I was asking him? How is it? Is it the same? Does it feel the same? This was, I'm a very honest person. I won't lie to you. This was the first question I asked him. Instead of rebuking him. When I finished, I was like, oh my God, what did I just say? This was the first question I asked him. Is it the same? Is it? And he said, it can never be the same. They are two different people. And I said, so what next? Said, you know what? I will still stick to my wife. I wouldn't do it again. I feel terrible. I said, good. It serves you right. And I started advising him. But you know what? What I wanted to hear, I heard it from the beginning. Although I advised him as a brother, but I wanted to find out, is it the same? Is it, how does it feel? Like, you have your wife, you're married for a while. You understand? I was just trying to test it on myself. I was just trying to try myself and see. You understand what I'm saying? Men are not men, human beings. Everybody is. I've been telling my wife, or somebody, I think it was somebody who said this, that I think we all have about 20% of mental problem in there. You get what I'm saying? We all go crazy sometimes. And I'm beginning to realize it's true, because, sometimes if you're not somebody who, I've tried to build some principles around my life these days, and I think it helps the most. Because if one of my principles is that before you do anything, wait and think.
Yes. Okay,
that is one of my principles. So it helps a lot. I think sometimes it's difficult as a man. But you need to learn to be strong. And in terms of the Christian side, let me say this: if any Christian is listening to me, you know what? If you're a guy or a man, don't think you are so strong and you are so faithful. Listen, a woman might come your way. If you're not careful, you even forget God. I keep on saying, if you've not met the person that will fall you, don't think you are the strongest. Just pray you never meet that person in your lifetime.
Yes.
If you get what I'm saying, because there's been times I've seen some women, and it's like, oh my, if I don't leave here, there'll
be trouble.
If I don't leave here, there'll be trouble. You get what I'm saying? So you need to know yourself. You need to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? We have to know who you are. You need to know who you are. And you need to know your weakness. And you need to work on it. If you don't do this, no matter how beautiful your wife is, or come on. You end up sleeping with somebody. You end up, at the end of the day, you tell yourself, wow, is this the person I slept with? You understand?
Yeah.
Not because the person is crazy, but as compared to what you have at home, you can tell the difference up fast.
It can't. Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah. Somebody
it's knowing
also
yourself.
went to the extreme to test himself if he was still potent. Because apparently it got to a time he wasn't having erection with the wife. So his friend advised them to go outside and try with another person. And surprisingly, when he saw the other lady's nakedness, he realized, oh, okay, I'm still potent. Like I still, can work. So his advice to men is that once in a while, go out there and try it out.
Oh
See,
my
sometimes
goodness.
you are with one person for a long time that your performance goes down and you begin to doubt yourself as a man. Am I still
But
the man I used to be? So once in a while,
but you know what?
test the waters. If it
No,
comes,
don't test the
let it
waters.
let it stain
Because
on your dress.
do you know what bugs me up about this before we wrap up?
Oh
What
my
bugs me
goodness.
about this is I feel like as if like marriage is a game to people. Like no one will
Yeah.
care, honestly. I mean, take the religious aspect out of it, morally, I'm talking on the moral ground here. I would not bat an eyelid if I saw a guy, he was single and he was having multiple relationships with women, as long as he made those women understand that you're not the only one and it's all good.
No,
I would not
they
bat an
don't tell
eyelid
you
because
that you're not
you
the only one.
all are adults. You've got consent, but don't get married and then be doing that because you're hurting people. If you want to play the field, by all means, play the field. And then do what you're doing. No one would. I personally would not judge you for that. But because I always say that a woman does not beg a man to ask for her hand in marriage. For you to ask that woman for her hand in marriage, like it's a big deal. She was sitting in the house quietly, probably minding her business. You're the one that would decide to get a ring and go
No,
down and want.
no. Some women beg some men for marriage after they have been in a relationship for too long, 3 years, 4 years. They begin to nag for
Right.
that. So I know
But then the
most
man
men
will
who
say
will
that,
say,
honey, I'm not
"You are
ready.
saying we should marry." What's it mean? Yeah, worry. Pastor, I hope you understand. She, yeah, worry. Eh, say my worry. That's what she wanted.
But then that's when the man needs to step up and
Sit
be the
down.
man.
Then he goes around. No, you want to get married, Abby? We dated for 3-4 years. So tomorrow, won't you go and see my family? My friends are getting married. Okay, you want to marry? Sure, sharp. They'll marry you. Buy the ring. How much is the ring? They can afford it. They will buy it for you. Get married to you. Now you are the missus, right? So stay home. The rest of the women will enjoy what they need to enjoy. So don't say women don't beg.
No, but then
I know
that means
most
the guy's
women
a
who have
coward,
begged
right?
for the
You
men to
stand up
marry
and
them,
you be like,
and
I'm not
now
ready
it's
for
coming.
marriage. Like
The guy
what
is not a
Pastor
coward.
Stephen did
The guy
with,
doesn't. No.
with the lady who was speaking about before.
The men are not ready. The men are not ready. Okay, but out of pity.
Okay, Pastor. So before we wrap up and go, can we have your final thoughts on this?
Okay, thank you very much once again. It's been really interesting.
Thank you for coming on.
What I would say is, guys, we should realize that it hurts. The golden rule: do unto others what you want others to do unto you. You understand? If your wife does the same thing you are doing to them to you, you wouldn't be happy. You understand? And it's very important that when we marry, we should marry for the right reason. Marry a person you love. Marry a person you understand. Don't impress people with what you don't have. You understand? Before you marry, never do that. You end up not just hurting the person, but you end up hurting yourself at the end of the day. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Marry somebody you love. Marriage is not a rush. Take your time. Make sure it's a decision you want to do, not because all your friends are doing it, not because everybody around you is doing it, but do it because it's a personal decision that you think it is the right time to take it. You understand? And also know who you are. Also know who you are and try to prevent anything that will create issues for you at the end of the day. And ladies as well. And these days, it will shock you, Yvonne, that a lot of women, as your sister Riley said, a lot of women beg men to marry them. They beg men because, men these days, they just love excitement. And the women are scared. And there are so many women more than men. You get what I'm saying? So, and ladies, don't beg anybody to marry you. don't beg a man to marry you. If a man is holding on marriage, he's got a lot of reasons why he's doing that. Don't push it too hard. If you think you are tired of waiting for the person, you can choose to back out of the relationship. But don't beg a man to marry you. You end up hurting yourself at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very also important that, as I said, before you make that decision in life, it has to be a personal decision. A personal decision. And always let the golden rule be on your fingertips. Do unto others what you want them to do unto you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for listening. Our listeners, thank you for sticking with us. And we brought you, another week of a really informative podcast, really. So, so people stay safe and, let us know your thoughts. That's the beauty about this. Get in touch. Let us know. Email us, catch us on Instagram, Facebook. Let us know your thoughts on this. And again, Pastor, thank you, Asantseba. So I guess it's a wrap, guys.
Yes, it is a wrap.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.